We're now going to talk about LPL Split 1 2026. The good, the bad, the liked, and the disliked. The good thing about LPL this split was I think BLG Knight looks unstoppable. This guy got so many player of the matches, player of the series, whatever awards. If he was ahead, the game was basically unlosable. I think Knight has one of his best performances this split, and I was really happy to watch him play. He was really, really good, and yeah, I just think that this form of Knight is carrying the LPL. Another thing I really liked was I think Jinja Honky is doing well. I know I saw some people on Twitter and online talk about, Jinja. There's a lot of comments about Jinja on Reddit. I think the team is on his back. When Jinja is active and making plays, JDG look really, really strong. When Jinja's not able to get ahead and control the game, it's a little bit wonky. I think Honky did really well. There's a lot of moments where he was like solo killing Knight, for example. I think that was really crazy. I think individually Honky had a really good split so far. Jinja had some shaky moments, but I think top is drafting. Maybe Vampire, Xiaoshu. There's a lot of issues going on in that team, but hopefully with Tommy's coaching, team is looking better and better. I think in playoffs they look really, really solid. I'm really excited to see what they do at first stand and in split 2 and split 3. Another great thing was I think Xiaohu had a really good performance in playoffs. Towards the end, he was really smurfing. He was really doing well, excluding the JDG series. Besides that, I think Xiaohu did really good. I was really excited to watch him play. It was really fun watching him play like, old spring split king kind of Xiaohu. So that was really fun to watch. Okay, now on to the bad. Obviously, we have to talk about the big elephant in the room. Nayo, allegedly, rumored, whatever, kind of potentially lost games, maybe. That kind of ruins the playoff run because TES was a solid team. They had moments where they were looking pretty good, and Nayo was a really good jungler when he was doing well and winning. But with this narrative and story coming out, maybe it just ruins the fact that, what if other teams are doing it? What if he was doing it longer than playoffs? What if, there's a lot of questions and it kind of ruins the integrity of the league when stuff like this comes out. So I'm glad, if he did it, I'm glad he's caught. Hopefully we can prevent this from happening further. But it was really sad to hear and really sad to watch because I thought he was doing pretty well. And TS could have been a team that, hey, if Jackalope came back, I think TS would have been a really, really strong team. But now without a jungler, it's looking pretty rough out there. Another thing that I thought was pretty bad was the fact that Viper kind of felt invisible. Like, he didn't feel like HLE Viper from last year where he was pretty strong. Like, he was actually really strong, right? Like, maybe the best or second best AD carry in the world. Right now on BLG, he's kind of invisible, where it doesn't really matter if he wins or loses, if he's ahead or behind. Even when he's ahead in gold, if Knight is behind, it feels like Viper really doesn't do too much, doesn't do too much carrying. He kind of feels like a cleanup AD carry, where he just stands back, plays safe, waits for everyone else to do the work, and then he comes in, pops heads, and then wins. It was kind of sad to watch because I really wanted Viper to do well, and I really do think he's a good player. But the fact that he had these issues is kind of sad. Hopefully he can bounce back. Hopefully it's just him just getting used to new culture, new regional strength, like the way LPL plays is completely different from LCK. Hopefully that's the big issue, and hopefully he can improve on that. Another bad part was AL, man. AL fell off a fucking cliff, dude. It was crazy. Like, during the regular split, I thought they were the best team. They played really well against JDG. I was like, okay, well, it's gonna be JDG, BLG, AL fighting for that, the two first stand spots, trying to fight for the championship. When Weibo beat AL, I was like, well, I guess JDG is going to first stand. Because AL, yeah, it is weird how good they looked against JDG and how bad they looked against Weibo. I'm not too sure what is happening in that team, and it was kind of surprising how they kind of fell off a cliff. Another thing I didn't like was Cerberus not playing well. Like, you have another import top laner, We had a really weird matchup with Sober and Hoya. I think both these top lanes are kind of bad. Watching them play was not fun or interesting. I do think that maybe it could be a language barrier issue. Hopefully, it gets over it and improves. But as of right now, I'm not a big Sobero fan, and he's probably one of the worst top lanes in the upper group. Obviously, like we don't know too much about mid tier and bottom tier groups. But right now, for my money, Sobero's not looking good. I really did like the format. I thought the three groups was really good, where you had the top six, middle four and bottom four. I know it's not really good for maybe bottom teams or middle teams to improve, but as a viewer, it was really fun because it felt like all the top teams in the top group were kind of competitive. They would take games off each other, make the games were fun. Middle bottom group, it was a little bit more competitive. Obviously, teams like LNG did really well, but besides that, it felt interesting to watch. Like watching some of the mid to bottom teams, it kind of felt like somewhat close to skill level. Obviously, not perfectly, but I thought the three group system as a viewer was really good and really fun. I really liked watching LPL regular season. Another thing I liked was, I'm going to give a shout out to Fungi. At the start of the split, I thought he was really bad. I thought him and Jachi were like the two worst players ever, and I couldn't wait for them to get removed. I don't know about Jachi. I still think he has a lot to improve on, but I thought Fungi had a lot of moments where I thought, what, this guy's kind of solid. I kind of like how he plays. Maybe, with more time and more experience, he can get better. Maybe with a different AD carry, he'll do much better. So I'm definitely not on the boat where, you have to cut Fungi 100%. I do think you can keep him around. I was really impressed and really happy to see how much he's improved from the start of the split all the way to the end of playoffs. Something I disliked about LPL is it felt like the top 6 in LPL didn't really change. Those teams in the top 6 just stayed in the top 6. One of the things I was disappointed was the fact that LNG and EDG weren't able to beat those top 6 teams. And, EDG losing to OMG was kind of sad to watch, but LNG specifically was dominating their group. I thought this team was going to break into top 6. They play in top 6, they lose, and now they don't even make playoffs, right? It was sad to watch. So basically, LNG wasn't even a top 8 team, right? Because they didn't make playoffs. Seeing that was kind of sad. I thought the fact that LNG looking good in the regular split. I thought how they built the roster was kind of smart, using younger talent and veterans to kind of balance the team out. I thought Edgar, the coach, did a great job, but unfortunately it didn't pan out in playoffs. They weren't able to crack top 8, and that was kind of sad to see. I wish we could see more improvements from mid to bottom teams. Maybe the group system prevents them from doing that. Maybe you have to get rid of the group system in order to see real growth and real change in those other 8 teams. So we'll have to think about the format. As a viewer, obviously I enjoy just watching good teams play against good teams. That was really fun. But maybe if you want to have more competitive teams, more team fighting for that top slot, we kind of have to look and decide, hey, maybe we have to let some of these mid to bottom teams play against better teams, yada yada yada. I would be fine with that because it is kind of boring to see the same good teams over and over and over again, especially when a team like LNG, I was kind of excited about their roster. I thought they could break into that top 6 group. Unfortunately, issues aside, that didn't happen, but hopefully that maybe next split or the split after, LNG is able to improve and hopefully they'll finally be able to challenge for the top 8 spot. So yeah, BLG are your champions. JHG is the second best. They're going to first stand. I was really happy watching them play. I thought LPL playoffs were overall really fun. I thought the regular split was fun. Both streaming the games, watching them play. It was all really, really exciting. So I'm pretty excited about LPL this year. I don't think they'll be better than Korea, but I did see some really fun moments. I do think the league in itself can be fun, can be competitive, and the group format did help as a casual viewer. But maybe you have to change the format in order for the worst teams to improve to take on the better teams. Yeah, that's what I thought about the LPL this split.